You see this bell icon here? Hit it now and we'll ensure you get delivered the very best of reviews, interviews and pop culture content.
For the first time, it's a better time to be a female actor than a male actor.
Really?
Yes, I do. The variety in the way the roles are written is far more exciting than what's happening in the male actor space, which is still, they've not, I don't know, it's all still a certain type.
OTT has given us a chance to explore, express and experiment.
Yeah.
And which is great, which is so good.
Yeah. Vidya Shefali, it's so lovely to have both of you back on Film Companion.
Thank
Thank you.
I want to congratulate you on Jalsa. It's a very unsettling and very gripping film.
Oh, you saw it?
Yes.
Oh, you saw it?
Yes. And it's such a treat to see the two of you work together and sort of play off each other. And there are many things I want to get into without giving anything away.
Right.
No, but I want to, wait. We'll do the interview later. I want to know everything.
They'll throw me out.
But you know, I think it's the first time that someone used the word unsettling and I actually laughed. I was happy.
Yeah, but it is. It's
Yeah,
very,
it is.
Yeah.
And especially, I think, if you're a mom like me, there is so much. Also, it's not just about morality, it's also about motherhood. It's also about being a working mother. And all these layers are kind of put in there. So I have many questions. But first of all, I want to know, Vidya, I was very intrigued to read that you had said no because you said I didn't have the guts to do it.
Yes.
When did you become an actor who doesn't have guts to do scripts?
No, I think it was, you know, it's also about one's state of mind, right? I just felt that Maya Menon could be, maybe I was judging her.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the fear of judgment. It's more about the fact that I was judging her. I was like, you know, do I want to play someone who makes certain questionable choices? But then, you know, the pandemic happened and the film hadn't happened, obviously because, you know, of the break. And I happened to chat with Suresh just generally one day, and amongst other things, he told me that, you know, I've been working on this script and I've made some changes. So I said, oh, I'd like to read it. I read it and I asked for it because I knew I was ready to do it now. Something had changed. I think I now knew that I didn't want to judge her anymore. Yeah. You know, and that's very important because sometimes we, you know, we see things, even though I think of myself as someone with a great amount of empathy and all that, I was surprised that I had the reaction when I read the script. So I think what the pandemic did is made me realize that, you know, you can't ever judge anyone unless you're in that situation yourself.
Yeah.
Judge them, their choices, the decisions they make or whatever, you know. However, I think I've always had I don't know if I'm saying too much actually.
No, so far we're good.
I think sometimes you know, I have a problem with not owning up to what one has done as a person. And therefore, I think that was my challenge with Maya Menon.
Do you two have very different processes as actors?
I really want to know Vidya's process.
You still don't?
No.
Because we hardly had any scenes together.
Scenes together.
Though there is that one stellar one in the kitchen, which
Yeah.
I want to talk about.
Yeah.
But so you didn't observe her enough?
I've seen her work.
Of course.
I admire Vidya.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, she transcends being Vidya Balan into being the character. And there is unpredictability, which is great.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying unpredictability in like life-altering ways, because that's not what life is about. It's about the small things. And secondly, what I admire the most is, like I always say this, that what comes through screen is real.
Yeah.
You know, when somebody is real, it just straight comes out. So I've admired that. I'm very intrigued to know how she works. I want to know how she works. But like we said, we had very little time together.
Similarly, you know, because I've forever been a fan of her work. And I actually wanted to know how is it that, for example, she always touches. There's not once that I've watched her on screen and felt like, okay. She always affects you. That's the word. So I wanted to know how she does it, but I don't think we had enough time, and maybe on set, the kind of scenes we had didn't allow for that, you know, because it was not like I was sitting and watching her do something, and so I was part of that scene, right? So I think we were interacting as actors. There was a give and take as actors, but I don't think we got enough time to actually decode that. Maybe it's a good thing. Yeah, really.
And also there was, you know, because Rukhsana and Maya, they have a divide.
Yeah.
There is that uncomfortable space in between.
Yeah.
So it's like no matter how much we would have loved to sit and chat. In fact, like through the promotions, I'm so glad we're doing it together because I've gotten to know her better and we've just been cackling. But that did not, Rukhsana and Maya's relationship didn't give us that space. Also, it was a very tight schedule and intense.
And we shot it right after the second
Pandemic,
wave.
yeah.
You know, so on set also, the mahal was such ki sab, you know, thoda, we used to keep a distance from each other, everyone.
Tell me about, and again, we'll talk about it without giving anything away. So there's this scene in the kitchen, which is very intense, and it's the two of you, and obviously Vidya, Maya is in a position of power and speaking from you know, great sort of anger, but also fearful, also vulnerable, and morally, Rukhsana is the one who has the upper hand, right? Tell me about the rhythms of that scene. Like it's a sort of, you know, pivotal scene in the film. How did you choreograph that?
I think I remember we landed up on set. Suresh wanted us to just do a reading before we went into makeup. We read it, but I don't think we really. So we got the mechanics of it. And I remember I did the first take, and I went and told Suresh, "This is, I'm off." So
I was totally off.
Yeah, but I think it was because it was difficult to grapple with. See, because as Maya, there's more fear. I think the anger is always an expression of fear.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's where it stems from. So, you know, how do you, that scene is so beautifully written because sometimes you also, I think Maya also somewhere resents the fact that her son loves Rukhsana.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was coming to that.
Yeah.
So there's this other layer which all moms have with all help.
Exactly.
You know?
Because, you know, it's that working mother's insecurity.
Yeah.
I've seen women around me behave like that, you know, and sometimes I feel like, well, why? It's ridiculous. It's your child. But I think all of that came to mind when I was playing out this scene because it's so beautiful in that. It's the fact that she's actually not saying what she wants to be saying. There's anger, there's frustration, there's doubt, there's insecurity, there's so many things. Yeah. And then the fact that she is actually the morally, what was the word you used?
Upper hand.
Yeah, she's got, irritates her.
Correct.
The fact that she wishes that she'd say something nasty to her and get it over with, or, you know, just not have to carry this burden.
Yeah.
But she can't do that.
Yeah.
You know, and secrets, I think, are very, very claustrophobic. Yeah. And they leave you feeling suffocated and stifled, and I think that's what that scene is about. It was, I think on set that day there was a tension. I remember at some point Suresh just like screamed at the unit, walked out of set, you know, smoked and came back. So I think it was one of those days where, and yeah, please say.
Also, you know, they're both hiding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's, it's like Rukhsana's hoping she doesn't find out and Maya's hoping Rukhsana doesn't find out.
Yeah.
And they're trying to, like Rukhsana's overcompensating.
Yeah.
You know, she's having a polite conversation out of place.
Right.
Because that's not the relationship she and Maya share. So she's trying to overcompensate. Yeah. And I think that whole friction of this guilt, both of them have their guilt, and both of them are really concerned, does the other one know?
Right.
And how much does the other one know?
How much does the other one know? you know.
Yeah.
So all of that. And also there is a quality of Ruxana, which is throughout. She gets stuck on something. You know, when she believes it, it doesn't matter from where she comes or who she is. Like Maya is in a much higher position than Ruxana is.
Yeah.
But when she believes in something, she sticks to it. Without arrogance, but she's like almost stubborn.
Yeah.
So, you know, when she's leaving and she says what she says, she wants to make her point.
Yeah.
You know, so I think it was all of that, the dynamics of all of it. And like Vidya very correctly said, her relationship with Ayush is so strong.
Yeah.
You know, also what I feel for Maya, like you correctly said, it's like a displaced anger.
Yeah.
Because finally it was about gas.
Yeah.
Conversation to gas.
Yeah.
खुली रखी.
Yeah.
कि नहीं,
And it, but it's not about
but
that.
it's not about gas.
It's not
Of course
about that
not.
at all.
Yeah.
And I think she doesn't want to also see Ruxana anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she wants her out of her side
of her,
because
yeah.
Ruxana is a
Reminder. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know, her self-image has been one of being self, you know, always correct. The purveyor of truth.
Correct.
The credible voice, the
Yeah.
voice that everyone depended on, and now,
It's all gone.
yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Or at least at the risk of being gone.
Yeah. Tell me this layer of the mother aspect, right? I mean, both the characters are moms, and like you said, there is guilt, there's resentment, there's all of that. Was that always part of the script?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? How
Yeah.
interesting.
But I think that's with Suresh's writing, yeah.
Yeah.
It's very layered.
Yeah.
There's, you know, we have to, of course, show up and, you know, internalize that. But it's all on paper. And when he narrates to you,
Yeah.
forget the paper. When he narrates to you, you get it.
Yeah.
He's one of the best narrators I've come across.
Really?
Yeah.
And he's a very good actor.
Yeah.
So does he enact scenes?
Yeah. And every character.
Every time, and he's very good.
Really?
Yeah.
He's terrific.
But the two of you are such amazing actors.
So
Do
there's
you not
this-
get mad with that?
No. In
so
the
there's
narration, not on
actually-
set.
It's a
Not on
narration,
set.
man.
Yeah,
Okay.
Not on set.
Not on set. And,
So he's enacting the part as he
Every part.
And he's actually, I'm sure he's told you also, he told me also, what audacity I have. I'm sitting here in front of you and acting.
That's what I was going to
But,
say.
you know, also, he, like Vidya said, he's so insightful. And he really, you know, goes deep inside the layers. And he's also inquisitive and he's curious.
Yeah.
So it's not that I know it all. Secondly, he loves his actors. He loves his actors.
Yeah.
He's gotten us on board because he knows that we're going to bring something, we're going to add and together create
Yeah.
these characters along with him. So it's never that he's told us exactly what to do on set. But before that, we've
Yeah.
had extensive sessions individually with him where we've bifurcated the character and the script and all of it.
Tell me, both of you happen to be married to very successful producers, right? How does that work? Do you ever go to them and just say, make this film for me?
Never. Because Siddharth and I decided we won't work together.
Really?
Yeah. After Ghan Chakkar.
She told me once, Shefali, that how will I talk money with him?
Yeah, not only that, you know, I'll start comparing how much he's paying another actor versus how much he's paying me. If he's paying another actor more, I'll hate it. I want to be the most valued in his eyes. No, but importantly, I think when Ghan Chakkar released and didn't do well, both of us were feeling low. And that's when I said, listen, if one of us is going through the low, the other one should be in a position to say, listen, I'm here for you.
It's all good.
You have my shoulder cry.
Yeah.
Here, both of us were like, mujhe bhi kandha do. It's too much to go through together.
But Shefali, you work with Vipul.
I've worked with Vipul in Vakt.
And Humans, you
and
just did.
Humans.
Yeah.
But, you know, I genuinely believe that I'm an actor, okay? But Vipul, his films alter the lives of all of us, the entire family. He does, and his cinema is very different from what I've done so far.
Yeah.
Human was
Yeah.
where we kind of,
You met.
Collaborated,
and he will never offer me something if he doesn't think it's not worth it. And I have never asked him to do anything for me. Because, like I said, it's much bigger than me just getting a role. His film is much bigger. And it is of far more value to the entire family than just me. I mean, I don't know whether I'm being able to
No.
explain.
You've
correctly,
articulated it.
But yeah.
In any case, now you don't have time.
No, I have lots of time this year.
You do?
I'm just thinking, shit, I don't have work. I've been telling you, give me something. Can I assist you, Anupama, please? I don't want to stay at home. I want to go to work.
I also think, you know,
I'm going to ghost you. I'm going to just follow you around.
come with me
Yeah,
to
then I'll
London.
be able to. Serious, can I please?
Yeah, please.
I promise you, I'll just be your actor's AD. Actor's AD? What? It's okay.
Anyway.
I'll just hang around.
No, I also think that, you know, it is, I don't want anyone to reduce my achievements to saying, this happened for you because of your husband.
Right.
Because one has worked very hard to get here. And, you know, as much as I love him, I don't want that to happen for either of us. For either of us to be told. Because here, you know, it's very reductive in a lot of ways. So I think I would get very upset if people, because people say, na, अरे आपका तो production house है ना, ऐसे मेरे पति का है, मेरा नहीं है,
they
फर्क
don't
है.
understand it.
Yeah. अरे आप
don't
बोलो ना
understand
produce करने को, अरे ऐसा थोड़ी होता है.
Yeah, they don't see the difference.
Yeah.
In fact, a lot of people come to me with a role only because they want people to produce
Oh
it.
man.
Yeah.
That must be annoying.
No, I'm just like, yeah, okay, fine. I'll give. He has to deal with it. I don't have to deal with it.
Tell me, you know, I've had conversations with both of you individually about what a great time it is, right, for female actors of all ages. I mean, it's just so exhilarating to see women playing all sorts of things. But what is it that we're still not doing? You know, what are the gaps that the two of you see in the screenplays and the narratives you're being offered right now?
I think we've come a long way, Anupama.
We have.
Yeah,
absolutely.
and you know, I don't have the foresight to say what more could be done, honestly, because I think we're in a great place and we're only getting better, right? I don't, at this point, I can't imagine any gaps, but that, I think, as you evolve and become more aware, you realize also. Like, I remember when we did the Mami panel in 2015, I remember talking about wanting to change the glorification of the mother, and you know, that's actually happened for me with Shakuntala, and then I've been seeing other work also that delves into that, and I think it's fantastic. I also personally think that it's, for the first time, it's a better time to be a female actor than a male actor.
Really?
Yes, I do.
Why?
I think that the kind of, the variety of roles that we're being offered, therefore the variety in the way the roles are written, is far more exciting than what's happening in the male actor space, which is still, they've not, I don't know, it's all still a certain type. You know,
It's
you're
still in service to the heroic.
hero,
Yeah.
Whereas we are playing the ordinary,
Yeah.
and it can't be said enough that the extraordinary emerges from the ordinary. So there are so many more stories to tell, and there are so many aspects that we are exploring. You know, whereas I feel, and with no disrespect, I do think the male actor space is largely unidimensional.
Yeah. Absolutely. And how
Yeah.
exciting it is for all of us.
Yeah.
True.
But tell me, you know, Vidya, for you, this is the third release on streaming,
Yeah.
right? After Shakuntala Devi and Sheni. And, you know, there is, of course, the reach of the platform, but there's also a school of thought that says that films on streaming will never have the same cultural impact
Right.
as films in theaters. I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
I don't know about that. I just feel that because it's a collective experience. When you watch a film in a theater, yes, it has, maybe the cultural impact can be sensed more. Here, I think it's tough to gauge really, but I think what it's also doing is taking the film or your content, whatever it is, to people all over the globe.
Yeah.
It's really opening up markets and audiences for us everywhere. And for example, in the case of Jalsa, I think it's the theme is more universal. It's even the telling is universal. So I think for a film like this, an OTT platform is the best possible thing to happen. So I don't know about the cultural impact actually.
I like that you use this word because I say this, that for us, going to a theater is, it's a culture, it's a religion.
Yeah.
It's go with a family and have your samosa and watch a film. So I don't think that is ever going to go away. But the fact that we have an alternate which is equally powerful. And sometimes I'm not undermining theatrical releases at all, but I find it even more powerful because it's not burdened by what happens on the box
Friday.
office on a Friday.
Yeah.
It's for posterity.
Yeah.
And it's going to reach a global audience. I mean, you're not just competing with a film that got released last week. It's there for everyone to see.
Yeah.
And content is king.
Yeah.
It does not have to stick to the box of what is required in a commercial Bollywood big film. It's given not just actors, but all creative people so much to so I genuinely believe that OTT has given us a chance to explore, express and experiment.
Yeah.
And which is great, which is so good.
Yeah, absolutely. No, there's no downside to
Yeah.
it at all. Okay, last question, which I must ask because the two of you are such fabulous actors. Is there a sort of essential tool of acting? I know, Vidya, you had once told me about perfumes that you change. But is there anything else that you use that would actually be helpful to all the actors out there?
Just to know the person you're playing, I think. So whatever helps you know the person. So I normally sit with my director and figure that out. Most of the time the backstory has no, it's not, you don't see it in terms of scenes, but it helps you make the person, make a blood and bones person out of what's written on paper. So I think just knowing the person, whatever, zodiac sign, for example, or perfume, or, where the person lives, or little things, I think. I'm not a trained actor, so I've just made up my own. I have my own process over the years, but yeah.
Shefali, for you?
No, I don't have any tools. And I think it's for every person and every actor to make their own. What works for me may not work for somebody else.
Yeah.
So it's their growth, it's their process, and whatever takes. So for me, there is no tool. Like Vidya very correctly said, I chew my director's brains off. Chew them off.
So Suresh, with both of you must
Why do you
have...
think he's gone bald?
He just lost all his hair.
He had 3, but... I really I dissect everything. I dissect everything. And it's not because I'm questioning my director or my writer.
You want to know.
It's because I want to know.
Yeah.
I just want to know. And then once, as that process progresses, I start becoming that person. Because I don't want to act like Ruxana. I think that would be my failure as an actor. My pursuit is to become Ruxana.
Right.
So that's how it is. And then, of course, when the camera goes on, I have no control over what I do.
Really?
Yeah.
It just comes.
It just comes. And touch wood, my instinct hasn't failed me yet. And I don't see the monitor, so I don't know whether it's going right or wrong. But when I'm doing it, I'll know it.
Yeah.
You know, so immediately I'll
Your
say,
gut
"One
tells
second."
you.
Yeah.
Feeling.
I'll know
Huh.
it. I'll just know that, okay, 1 second, this was, can we do one more? You know, so it's that.
Well, you're both doing amazing work. Thank you.
Thank you.
And congratulations again.
Thank you.
Thank you.